More people, as respect. Uh-huh. Manners, respect. Nuff, nuff, nuff. Hello, people. Welcome to our next educational program where we have a lot to learn, a lot to understand. Yes. Again, people, there's so much things happening in the world. Yes. Everything is moving so fast. Oh my gosh. Everybody's scattering like say them, like when you have a roach spray. When you have roach spray and you spray it, all of the roach must scatter. Big up the people them don't know roach. We never live with roach before in them life. Fortunate for Uno. I'm gonna say that's how the world is running, people. Everybody's scrambling. Crazy things is happening. Life now go good for many people, like it did I go good for people before. Me said we have to believe in ourselves, people. We have to know our worth. We have to, we have to know say this not right. What's happening is not right, people. Right through history, no. The righteous people always get punished. It's weird. Say that's what the whole world is based on. War, hate. You know, it's just based on those stuff. No peace, no harmony, less love. Isn't that weird, people? It's just chaos, chaotic existence. So yesterday I see the people them a deport the people them pregnant in a wheelchair. Everybody, you go back to your country, you go back to your country. The talk how everything is getting the breadcrumbs them a get erased. And just like erase out the breadcrumbs them. Then just I said, them are breadcrumbs, yeah. But the breadcrumbs then come from somewhere now. The breadcrumbs then come from we. The breadcrumbs them come from us, people. They're erasing the breadcrumbs, but the breadcrumbs come from us. We are the bread. We are the bread. Yes? And them are erase the breadcrumbs. And everybody's outraged. How can they do that? How can they? People, I keep on saying they can do whatever they want. It's they created it for them. They they dragged us in it, and now they don't want us in the game anymore. Them a put up on the sideline. It's not it's not hard, people. They created the game. Come and tell you say the color barrier, right? They created the color barrier, we broke the color barrier. So they create the game, them drag in the game, we play by them rules, right? We win the game, then cheat to the game. People, we were playing our own game and winning and having fun. And then drag in the game, play by the rules, we win the game. Then cheat we and then they kick we out of the game, people. It's crazy. So now it's like I don't see I don't see what the outrage is all about. Right, people? And I tell you there's so much things happening in today's society, but it's the same thing that happened in the past, right? And it's the same thing is repeating itself, but people did not pay attention to the past. So now them up. Like, oh my God, how is this happening? But it's happening, people. And that's what I'm gonna say. Then the people that might fight for all of these things to change, then pass off and there's nobody fighting for anything to change anymore. The people that will fight, the statue them where them are tear down, all the stuff them where them are erased because it's not connected to anything, right? The past is not connected to us. We separate ourselves. So it's happening again, people, and everybody's is outraged about it. But me understanding everything and seeing everything, I say it's still gonna be the same in the future if we don't change it, If we don't change it, it's not gonna change, people. Until I said there's so much things we are gonna touch upon today, right? Because when they talk about the two youth them they did the twins them. There's these twins, right? They were supposed to go up on a trip on for real money. The payout limit is low at they were supposed to go on a trip, people, and they went missing, right? And the police them investigated, and the police them say, um, them them it was a box up, box up, which means one of them box up the next one, and then the next one box up himself, right? And him family come out and say, no, that's not possible, right? I telling the people is I'm gonna look at everything and I see how everything is. Every every time it comes to like equal rights and justice from the police force, the law, it's never equal rights or justice. It's in favor. So again, this story is not it's not the I don't see no social media people talk about it. Right? I'm not saying there's nobody talking about it, but I don't see a lot of people highlighting it. I just this I find it pan indisputable. with Dr. Richie, right? And him have him YouTube channel, and him did a little thing on it. I just want to listen to it, people. I'm telling you, say sometimes, we're surprised about a lot of things, but I don't understand why we're surprised when things not change. And if we treat ourselves a certain way, and I say people for treat it that way they enough, but we are set example for how people treat us. So as we proceed,
man has been arrested in connection to the deaths of black twin brothers. This story has a lot of twists and turns. It's going to make your blood boil. Put up the picture full mass. In Georgia, Quadir and Nazir Lewis, 19 years of age.
Quadir and Nazir. People, and you want to see how the man them a graduate, beautiful smile, everything. You can go look on it, man arrested in connection to horrific death of black twins. Family fights for justice. Right, people? You want to see how the man them, well, I'm going to tell you, say, as we proceed, people, I'm going to tell you, say, sometimes these are really low situation. As we proceed.
Found dead just hours after they were expected to fly to Boston to visit friends on Saturday, March 8th. Their plane tickets were reportedly still in their respective wallets, found at the scene of the crime. Hikers discovered their bodies at the top of Bell Mountain. This is near North Georgia. It is the Georgia North Carolina border, dozens of miles from where families say the brothers were living. Although police suspect the brothers died in a murder suicide by gunshot wound, the Georgia Bureau of Investigation has confirmed the arrest of former Towns County volunteer firefighter Scott Curlin.
People, you see, volunteer firefighter, no people. So it's either I'm volunteer for do good or I'm volunteer for do bad. Now that much I show you sometimes, people, evil is in a form. When you look on this man a picture, so you're not to judge people, but I'm tell you, say, him is a suspect. As we proceed, people.
42 years of age, in connection to the case. It gets even more interesting. According to the reports, the firefighter was fired on March 14th after he allegedly violated department protocol. Towns County Commission Cliff Bradshaw told 11 Alive. Curlin has not been charged directly in the deaths of the brothers, but he was hit with misdemeanor obstruction for allegedly snapping photos of the twins' dead bodies and then leaking those photos to the public, according to the GBI. The GBI's medical examiner has not shared the complete autopsy reports to the public yet, according to a spokesperson. Additional forensic tests are still pending. The family, however, continues to dispute the murder-suicide ruling, saying the twins would never hurt each other. Their aunt, Yasmin Bronner, said, quote, "They wouldn't do anything like this. To say they did this to each other? No. Something happened in those mountains and we want answers," end quote. In the meantime, their families.
People, you hear which part it happen? In the mountains. Up in the mountains, people. Bad things happen up in the mountains, people. Eh? But I'm going to tell you, just say, this world, people, is not just people them in it, is not just. Some of them people is not human. And then they must share the picture them. Why would you do something like this and share the picture? I tell you people, trophy, sacrifice. Understand? Trophies and sacrifice, people. As we proceed,
Your family has set up a GoFundMe in support of organizing a memorial for both of them. Obviously, this is not something you planned for as a parent, Cordeer and Nazir. You can go to that GoFundMe and assist. There are a lot of dynamics to this story. And we've been following this story in the state of Georgia. So, one thing that stuck out to many is that they were in an area that normally they would not have been. And no one has been able to give an explanation as to why they were in those mountains and why did they miss their flight. Absolutely no information. And then the ruling of this murder suicide thing happened so quickly. Once again, there's no exhaustive investigation before the proclamation of murder.
and that match, people, is there any difference between, man, past, present, future? It's not gonna change, people, unless we change it, unless we understand why it needs to be changed, people. Them things are wrong. As we proceed, people.
And thirdly, how many times have we reported on indisputable a mother's intuition or family's intuition? What they knew something was off. And because of their willingness to continue to push the reality of how they knew the person, that actual justice was served and the person or people accountable were held to account. We've seen this many times on this show. There's no motive. There's no motive. There's no bad blood. These are twins. These twins, according to everybody in the family, these individuals wouldn't hurt other people, let alone each other, in this manner. Nothing is adding up. Nothing makes sense. And then to add on top of the chaos and the confusion, you have a local authority, obviously tied into not only the fire department, but also obviously the police department, the medical examiner's department. These individuals don't work in silos, they work together.
That's the truth, people. Evil people work together. Why you think evil people work with good people? The good people them comply with the evil people them. But them not work. Them want to keep for them innocent. Them want, me say, enough of the things that happen on TikTok and the people them send out the money to the people them. Them feel say them good because they're not part of it. When you see all the violence and all of them things that happen, those people think say them good. But they're part of it. Them not unsubscribe to the channel, them not. I tell them say all of the good channel them don't get loved. The good channel them want to do the good things. People don't really care about them. Are the algorithm or the people them a push up? And enough of them are bought. Enough of them is like AI generated stuff. But still, it's making them money. But evil people work with evil people. As we proceed, all of them unite together.
He then takes a picture and releases it to the public. But you can't do that in a silo. You can't do that by yourself. That means you got some public folk that you can talk to, that you can release this picture to. So who are you talking to in the public to release the picture? And why are you doing it in the first place? Who told you to do this? Have you ever?
That I'm trying to show you. That's what I'm trying to show you. So when you look upon it, people, you see like how I'm going through these things and understanding these things. It's sacrifice, and other people I love it. Other people is paying for these pictures. To see other people hurt us. And then love it even more in time we hurt each other, you know. You guys won't believe how them love it more in time we hurt each other. As we proceed, people,
this. Have you ever done this before? If you've never done it before, that means that you're probably under a directive for the first time to do something like this, because I'm sure it's not the first time that a dead body has been found in that area. But why this time did you decide to do these actions? There are more questions than answers. I'm with the family on this one. There needs to be an exhaustive investigation into every element of this case, and hopefully there will be a just outcome, but we're going to stay on top of it until there is. Jackson, thoughts here?
Yeah. Okay, people, and that's what I'm saying. So that's the present right there. Present time, that, that's present time. We're still being preyed on.
The suicide notion is that seems incredibly unlikely for two young men at the stage that they were in their lives, and their family didn't say that they were ever suicidal or depressed or anything like that, for them to just take themselves out there and do that. More likely they were kidnapped for some reason.
And that's what I'm saying. That are the ultimate right there. So that match I showing people. Because we lived this life before, we know this life before. I'm gonna tell you something, I just have this feeling, people. I just get this feeling. And kidnap the youth, then bring them out there. Just to watch the terror. Then take the picture of them, all of them things, and send it to them people who fi send it to. And then probably send it to one person when I'm supposed to see it. And that the person they leak it. As we proceed.
Definitely something that no parent should have to deal with. They had their whole lives ahead of them, and they definitely deserve justice. So hopefully we get more concrete information.
Yeah.
Yeah, people. That this is I spoke about it before. So they're gonna do some investigation, because you see these things are not on the mainstream media. Probably one or two newspaper probably did one or two article on it. But I'm telling you, the stuff then that's blazing all over the place is stuff them when I mean nothing. The sensationalism that everybody's gravitating to. And then everything is forgotten 5 minutes after. So that's why I'm asking people. It's so important for we understand certain things. So for future is not wiped out. I'm telling you, that's how it looks sometimes. Like for future is gonna be wiped out. All right, people. As we proceed, I am just saying that's the present time. That's the present time, because you see, the present time is pretty much the past only in the light. Understand? The past is just being in the light right now. Because many times them talk about people get lynched and nothing comes out of it. At least them two little youth get a little bit of highlight. Not nothing, but it's better than nothing. Hopefully the next time in the future it will be caught on tape. Because I'm telling you, people love videotape things when I mean nothing, and bombard you with the useless information, and the things that might really mean something falls by the wayside. I'm just I go through past, present, and future. So this one is from Black Journal. Something happened to Sundown Town late 2024. right? Now, from me, from I don't know how long me know, me know about Sundown Town, but there's big people who don't know. There's big people today who don't know what Sundown Town is, right? Maybe because me live in Canada, but me, when me say you're born in our skin that is aware of pretty much everything. Our skin is sensory, and they invented and prove it by building something where our very el- elect, electromagnetic magnet from our brain can operate a machine. So these are the things I tell the people. That's why I'm saying not, no hype or nothing, because it's like, because me know my past already and the present of me, what I'm fighting for is my future, right? So I fight for my future, because the way things is, the future dark same way, even though it's being highlighted in the present. But if nothing is done, it's gonna be the same. So as we proceed, people, me say from a little bit, me from a young, me know about Sundown Town, and Sundown Town is a place where anybody anybody will look like me, right? Because I know everybody listen look like me. But anybody will look like me, get catching at them the town there, is at their own peril. Them now make it out alive, right? And it's sad, except there's towns like these, just like how towns like these exist then. But I'm telling you, said the government can actually hunt down people, kick people out of the country, right? Wipe out the Black Panther, have the KKK still exist, right? And say morally just. So when me hear this, I'm gonna talk say, um, him love my friend, him call him my friend. Donald Trump and where the next one name? You can't call them people no friend. If them the people are no friend, me are not a friend. Sorry. But Sundown Town is a place where if you go down place that you can't work there, no, but you just have to leave by dark. Me not see how that makes sense, right? You can't work in the town, but you can't live in the town. Now, some part of this time use skit, so them use a skit in it, and that's not real. We're gonna talk about that, right? Because we don't want, make it look like say what's real is not real. That's There's enough of that out there already. But as we proceed, Sundown Town. Sundown Town. As we proceed, Sundown Town. So it should be, what is Sundown Town? Where could go on, people?
Told you, we had to make a detour. We got lost. Why are you driving him? He's my boss. He can't be out here at night. This is sundown town. Get him out of the car. Come on, get out now. Get out now. Get out. Got ID?
Imagine driving down a picturesque main street lined with quaint shops and restaurants, only to stumble upon a haunting relic of a bygone era. A weathered sign, faded but still legible, bearing a menacing warning: don't let the sun go down on you here. The message is clear: you are not welcome. And if you value your life, you will leave before sunset. For generations, this sinister phrase echoed through the streets of thousands of American towns, a constant reminder to African Americans that they were not wanted, that their presence was a threat to the very fabric of these communities. These were the sundown towns, places
where segregation and violence against blacks reigned supreme, where the simple act of being black could be a death sentence. This is a dark legacy. No, not ever. I disagree now. A white legacy, this is, of America's racist past, one of exclusion and hatred that continues to impact communities, even to this present day of 2023, 2024. We've barely even begun 2025.
Even in 2023, you still have sundown towns in America, but yet America will go to a lot of your countries and try to tell you about democracy and human rights, but yet they have sundown towns in America. But yes, in 2023, black people can't be in certain towns or something will happen to them. Now, is that legal? No, it's not legal. It's not legal on the state level. It's not legal on the federal level. It's not legal whatsoever. But it's not being prosecuted at all.
You heard that. Now, this was the following year. Same reporter, same report.
So even in 2024, you still have some sundown towns. These sundown towns should be plastered. Why isn't we don't have federal investigations into that? Why aren't they sending federal agents into these so-called sundown towns?
We can all well see that this diligent reporter here was merely reporting in 2024 on a situation that he had already talked about in the previous year of 2023, which had rolled over. Apparently, the situation in question did go unaddressed, hence his repetition of the report. These, sadly, are events happening still in these recent times, mind you, and this could only be because the American government does turn a blind eye to this. The legacy of sundown towns is indeed a painful reminder of the darkest corners of the American experience. It's a story of crippling racism, of violence, a story of untellable suffering, and a story of the resilience of a people who refuse to be erased. As we delve into the poignant history of these towns and the cruelty blacks were beset with in that bestial era, we are forced to confront the uncomfortable truth about our nation's past and the ways in which that past continues to shape our present. Before we begin proper, don't forget to support our endeavors by hitting the thumb button of this video. Share with friends and families to keep spreading our eye-opening Black narrative, and consider subscribing to stay tuned in if you are yet to. We are glad to have you with us on this journey. Now let's go down the sordid tracks.
When you get pulled over in a sundown town, how you doing today?
Okay, so this part is a skit, right? This is the part that I said, this is just a reenactment of how you get treated in a sundown town.
License and registration, boy.
Man, I ask why you pulled me
shut
over
your
today?
goddamn mouth, boy. Now, what you doing in my town?
I'm coming from work.
From work? What plantation you work on, boy?
Plantation? No, I work at Costco's.
I don't remember seeing Negroes at Yeah, I'm gonna need some backup.
I mean,
here, possibly armed and dangerous.
what? I mean,
People, it's a skit. This part is a skit, so it's funny. What I'm saying though, it's not, because you see the two youth that will get boxed up. It's the same thing. But all them talk to we people. That's what they said. You understand why it's so important for us not to talk to each other a certain way? People don't understand this, you know. The way they talk, they speak to us is how we speak to each other, right? As we proceed, people.
what? I mean,
Yeah, I'm going.
Officer Madison, is this you?
What you call me, boy?
Officer Madison?
Who told you my name, boy?
No, it says it right there on your badge. Officer Madison.
Oh, you must be a free Negro.
Of course.
Not in my town. Where you learn to read? Boy, where did you learn to read?
so what's the hottest?
Yeah, people. So again, that part of the skit, it's funny, right? But it's not funny because
What's the hottest online slots casino night?
it's what's happening now in today's society.
Elementary school?
You step out the car.
This is only just one among several other videos of live encounters of blacks out here in the U.S. of what it means to still get caught in a sundown town. And this particular event happened only over a year ago in 2023. Shocking, isn't it? We could all very well hear a grown black man being asked just now where he learned how to read in this modern time.
What? I mean,
I'm going.
Officer Madison, is this you?
What you call me, boy?
Officer Madison?
Who told you my name, boy?
No, it says it right there on your badge. Officer Madison.
Oh, you must be a free Negro.
Of course.
Not in my town. Where you learn to read? Boy, where did you learn to read?
What could be more derogatory? Suffice it to say that the most worrisome thing here is the police and security personnel in these so-called sundown towns being the ones in the forefront championing this barbarism against hardworking blacks.
Sundown towns should not be in existence. But let me tell you really how black people get caught up in those sundown towns. So these brothers you talking about are truck drivers, or maybe a person get lost somewhere. People have went to gas stations and they try to warn you and let you know, say, hey, you know who you at? They say, it's not a good place for you to be. You probably want to leave. They'll try to warn you to get out of town. But if you are caught, this is normally how they get you. The white supremacists are the police too. They the police chief, they all the police. So what they'll do,
It's true. It's true, people. Because them pledge an allegiance to their belief. I said like-minded people, like-minded.
is the police will pull you over for nothing, literally. They pull you over, and then they'll call their white supremacist friends. And then the police will take you somewhere, and then they let their white supremacist friends, and they're going to get involved with it too. And then they're going to, torture you, and they're going to unalive you. That's what they're going to do. And they're going to get rid of the evidence in the car because they're the police. That's what they do in these sundown towns. They're letting you know. There's not no random Klan to show up with no, it's the police.
This is happening in this modern world of ours today. Clearly, racism seems inextricably embedded in the fabrics of the American system. This is the only logical reason why, although sundown towns may have spread through the entire American society, the American government would turn a blind eye or continue to do or say nothing about it. The idea of sundown towns was never clandestine, nor a hidden activity in the first place. It has been a major established force of the United States constitutional beliefs and policies. Thus, the American government hears loudly, very loudly indeed, but does nothing concerning what it has allowed.
But yes, in 2023, black people can't be in certain towns or something will happen to them. Now, is that legal? No, it's not legal. It's not legal on the state level. It's not legal on the federal level. It's not legal whatsoever. But it's not being prosecuted at all. The federal government isn't coming down and saying, hey, we hearing this is a sundown town. You know what we about to do? We about to investigate everybody and see what kind of crimes or anything happen here. People come up missing. And they'll quit that mess. They'll quit. But they're not going to do that because always remember, they all on code. No matter if they Democrat or Republican, they're all on code with each other. Understand that?
Listen, people. Meanwhile, PNP and JLP, them they are each other throat, right? No matter if them are JLP or PNP, all of them here to the same. That we don't understand.
Time they're going to do something unless we expose it to the public, and now they're going to have to deal with it.
You all heard that. They're all on codes, which is why nothing is going to be done about what they allowed. What are sundown towns to begin with?
A sundown town is basically a town full of racist white supremacists, male and female. And if you're a black person in that town at nightfall, then they will attack and take your life. You understand what I'm saying?
A sundown town is not just a place where something racist happened. It is an entire community or even county that for decades was all white on purpose.
It's come to my attention that a lot of people on this app don't realize that sundown towns still exist, or even know what a sundown town is. So let me catch you up to speed, okay? So sundown towns are basically towns where melanated people either need to be inside at a certain time or they need to be outside of the city limits at a certain time. And like I said, those still exist in 2024. If you don't believe me, all the people that drive from New Orleans to Houston, Houston to New Orleans, y'all know there are certain cities on I-10 that you're not going to stop at. You don't care if your tire's falling off. You don't care if your whole front end falling off. Your car could be smoking. There is no way in hell you're going to stop in those certain cities along I-10 on your way either to Houston from New Orleans or from Houston to New Orleans. Like, you're not going to stop.
Sundown towns were municipalities that, through a combination of violence, intimidation, and economic coercion, forcibly excluded African Americans and other minority groups from living within their borders. These towns were often marked by signs at the city limits warning African Americans not to stay after sundown. The message was clear: you are not welcome here.
So I was today years old when I found out what a sundown town is. Apparently, a sundown town is a town where the residents are only white. Okay, you can work there if you're a person of color in the daytime, but when the sun sets, you need to be out of there. And if you're not, you can risk being killed, beaten, arrested, ran out of town, or even lynched. And I also heard sometimes the cops don't even intervene if a white person is doing something to you because you're not supposed to be out there after the sun sets anyway. If you're caught driving out at night through a sundown town and you're a person of color, you're not safe. So before you take any trips, please do your research on sundown towns. Ever heard the phrase, be in before the streetlights come on? The generational trauma passed on. That's where that came from.
People, that's true. The Malians of yo, be home before sunset. That's pretty much our curfew as a kid, you know. I didn't know this is where it come from, you know, people. But trust me.
Downtowns are the reason why we pack food for the road.
They pack food when you're going on trips. They don't stop nowhere, people.
If y'all don't believe me, y'all could go online and Google a map of all the sundown towns that still exist.
When I tell you it was heinous, I'm going to have to be careful how I word this so that I don't get in trouble, but I think it needs to be said because I am sick and tired of hearing people say that people of color just need to get over it already because it was so long ago. No, it wasn't. My father remembers his father raising hunting dogs that he would rent out on the weekend for hunting parties, only these weren't regular hunting parties. These big bubbas would set up these almost lemonade type stands during the week and sell these little cards for like, I don't know, a nickel, 25 cents. They were person of color hunting licenses. And everyone who bought one during the week, they would gather together on the weekend with all their trucks and they would round up as many people of color in the surrounding areas as they could find, turn them loose in the woods and set the dogs after them. There are people alive today whose family were hunted down in the woods by dogs, and they raised their children to have a well-earned distrust of white people and of police officers. Because I guarantee you, any of the police officers that weren't wearing the hoods were turning a blind eye.
I don't see people. But I'm tell you, you know, that's it right there. That's it right there, people. So no, not ball about this and not ball about that. It's the same. It's the same treatment. I just we now pay attention as we proceed.
When I learned the term sundown town, But I do remember my first experience with one. 20 something, almost 20 years ago, I'm leaving my technical school, graduating. I'm fully in the Air Force, and I have a truck, so I could go home. I could drive myself home on leave from Texas back to Mississippi. So I'm driving from San Antonio. I'm so happy I get released from training. No more reporting statements, no more 341s or whatever that little form that we have to keep on us at all time and whatnot. And going home to see my mama. So, Mom, I made it. I'm in the Air Force. And so I just randomly got released that day, immediately packed up my truck and hit the road. I did not eat that day. So I'm about 5 hours east of San Antonio, just east of Houston. And I was like, man, I am on my last calorie.
And see, Houston, those mountain places, people. Those mountain places, and that's how them bring the youth them in the mountain. So I'm gonna know what's with these mountain people, right? As we proceed, and sometimes you see, sometimes people, the rules and regulation we're under, we think it's so strenuous, but then we go out there and we see worse rules and regulation, people. You understand? As we proceed.
Calorie. And I pull off I-10 in a little town, I think it's called Vidor, V-I-D-O-R, Texas, Vidor. And I stop into a McDonald's, and I tell you, the music stopped. I've been to town where it's like, you know, trust me, there's no black people there. Trust me, and them look upon you different. Some places different from some places, people. Not all places is the same. Not all people are the same, but I'm saying you got some places. You hear me I say? As we proceed. Soon as I walked in that McDonald's, so this is right after the Sunday on there. And everybody stopped there was doing it, and everyone in there was staring at me. Customers, employees, the manager stuck their head out the back, and I asked for some food. And as a former McDonald's employee when I was in high school, I have never seen food be delivered to a customer that fast. I'm fairly certain they just gave me somebody else's food. So people, them just want you out. So I'm sure they gave me somebody else's food. So that means they never know. No, sir. They never order, you never take him order. And just say, hey, come out. As we proceed. I'm fairly certain they just gave me somebody else's food so I could get my, black ass out of the restaurant. It was the most awkward.
Jackpot.
People. I'm sure they just gave me somebody else's food. It's the most awkward moment because it's like you just get this. But that much I should not go and like say I get feelings, people. How is it? How can you in at some moment you get feelings and either other me? You say it's the most awkward feeling. What do you think? It's a physical thing? Or it's just or the energy where I come off? What do you think, people? This feeling thing. What do you think of the looks? What do you think? Then take out like them baseball bat or them thing like that, people? Or them just give you the look. Let's say you don't belong. Yeah? As we proceed, people. It was the most awkward, painful situation I have ever been in. And keep in mind, I've been in the Air Force a little over 6 months at this point. So I kind of forgotten that, America is a really bad place. Jackie Robinson did it in the army, remember? And even today, they bring up Jackie Robinson, people, saying that they need to take him out of some thing them of Jackie Robinson in. People, it's sad. So obviously the Air Force is inclusive now, but just because the Air Force is inclusive, it doesn't mean say racism end. Because now they might go back to as we proceed, people.
You know, America is a really bad place, and some places are worse than others. And you know, so I just took that food promptly, threw it away, and
The one never eat it, people. Jesus. The one never eat the food, the man fling it to it. The food don't pay for no people.
hungry until I made it to Lafayette, Louisiana, where I stopped to get food. And all the times that I've gone back and forth, up and down I-10 over the last 20 years, I still do not stop in that town.
Why not? Why not? It's 20 years, people. Hasn't things changed? That's in the past, man. People. That's 20 years, people. Now you get inclusion in the Army, the Navy, Air Force, right? Of course things change, people. Yes? As we proceed.
Years, I still do not stop in that town, and I don't gas up or get food until we hit Lafayette.
I actually been to a sundown town. It was actually my 8th grade year in middle school, right? And I was the only black girl on our basketball team at the time. So we had a basketball tournament in Vega, Texas. So I had a basketball tournament in Vega, Texas. And I didn't know anything about Vega, Texas before going there, anything like that. So immediately, we're going into the school for our basketball tournament. And my friend is all holding on to me, like, hold on, like, you know, like all over me. And I'm just like, girl, why you on me? And like very protective, like a kind of protective kind of thing. And at that point, I did not realize I was in the sundown town area. But when we first entered the city of Vega, before we got to the school, I did see a sign outside that says, welcome to Vegas, Texas, no colored people out at night. Then I seen like on business windows as we were going down the street and things like that, I had seen like coloreds and whites. Now I'm looking at this stuff, but I'm like, I cannot believe my eyes are seeing what.
People. I cannot believe. And that's us, people. We don't believe. We it's weird. We are selective believers. We believe in some things, but in some things we don't believe in. Right? As we proceed, people.
Mitsubishi Motors. When this
Man, tell some alias. Alias, I mess up the presentation, people. That's what it is. Me always I mess up the presentation because me always I get too excited when I'm doing these stuff. But again, she can't believe that this is happening in a time when this is not supposed to be happening. But people are telling us, say, look, realizing certain things and understanding certain things, it's never gonna change until we realize it's bad.
I'm just like, there's no way that this shit still exists. I'm thinking in my head, should I even be here? But back to the tournament, right? We walk into school. There's nothing but white students. I don't see not one black person in sight. I'm the only black person there, and I am the black girl on the team. But my friend is like sticking beside my side real hard, and I'm like, girl, what's going on? She was like, well, this school, like, I heard it's kind of racist, things like that. That's what she told me. So it clicked. I was like, I'm in a fucking sundown town. So we're playing our basketball game, whatever. I'm not for sure if we won that game or not, but I know I heard comments from the stands while I was playing saying, oh, that black girl this, that black girl that. Can't really for sure remember what they were saying, but they were talking about my skin complexion. Yeah, but definitely after I left that basketball tournament, it kind of scarred me for life. And I remember it like very like seeing the color. Like, that was my first encounter with a sundown town, like, straight up. And it scarred me for life that towns and people like that still exist. Like, it's...
And that, okay, you see, people, what she said, it scarred her for life, you know. So when I say people, things happen to us, you know, if we pass, we don't understand why we can't get over certain things. Because we're scarred. Right? The treatment where people treated. I'm telling you, I've been through these situations before. And people are tell you, say, no, that's not what it is. You gotta work and you have to fight for where you work for, you know. Just because them people have the assumptions that in some way, form, or shape, with no proof, say them better than you. As we proceed, people.
It scarred me for life that towns and people like that still exist. Like, it's crazy, but I tell my coworkers this: you need to know what a sundown town is. And to my black people, if you guys are going to be traveling to places, you need to make sure that you do your research to make sure that you're not passing through an area that's a sundown town, okay? For your safety, because we still have ignorant people out here who want to be back in those times, and they just don't want to face the fact that we're finally free.
No. I totally disagree with that, people. As long as there's nothing protecting us from whatever anybody says, being convicted for something we never do, all of them things, what freedom? Equal rights and justice is freedom. If equal rights and justice is not practiced, there's no freedom. Anywhere there's injustice, somebody are dead. That's how I work out. It's sad, but it's the truth. So we can't look upon it and say we're free people. Because anything with them give, they can't take it back. Right? Any truth where them tell them can't lie, say are not true. People. A lie is one thing, you know. As we proceed.
In those times, and they just don't want to face the fact that we're finally free.
Yes, sundown town. I've had the misfortune of running across one sundown town in my entire life. And as I was rolling in, it said, such and such town limits. Underneath it, it said this is a sundown town. I didn't understand what that meant. My passenger, he started freaking out. Like he was freaking out and he wanted to turn around and leave. And I didn't understand why. And then a little bit later, it came across another sign that said, N-word, do not let the sun set on your black ass or you will be swinging in the morning. I turned around and left real fast. Does that explain to you what a sundown town is?
And just while these troubling encounters of Black experiences in sundown towns kept popping up in the Black community recently, something quite shocking and stranger happened just late 2024 that got people talking even more. The Hurricane Helene.
Houses are floating away. Oh, look at them all.
Winds now up to 130 miles per hour.
Every 5 minutes, a tree was falling so close that the entire house and the entire foundation of the house was shaking around us.
It was catastrophic.
It is the strongest hurricane to make landfall in Florida's Big Bend region on record. It's brought massive amounts of rain, historic flooding. We have team coverage across the storm zone, starting with Ginger in Treasure Island, Florida. Good morning, Ginger.
George, this storm is remarkable for so many reasons. We had 5 to 7 feet of record storm surge. You see the piling of that pontoon. This boat here, they're in front of a house, as are dozens of others up and down the street. They were pushed by the actual ocean water with that record surge up and over 4 lanes of a causeway. This is just the beginning of the damage, because obviously at best we were 110 miles per hour from the center of that storm, but it just plowed through Georgia. There's flash flood emergencies in Atlanta up through North Carolina right now.
Overnight, Hurricane Helene slamming into Florida's Big Bend, making landfall as a deadly Category 4 storm. Catastrophic sustained wind up to 140 miles per hour, the first ever Cat 4 on record for the Big Bend.
Oh, there goes.
The warnings of unsurvivable storm surge eerily playing out in Steinhatchee. Entire homes swept away.
Several houses floating away.
Ripped off their foundation by Helene surge. The porch on this home left behind. The scene illuminated by lightning. At least 5 people are dead across Florida, Georgia, and North Carolina. One of those deaths happened when this sign fell onto a car in Florida.
That just shows you that it's very dangerous conditions out there.
The storm's footprint, massive. You can see it from the satellite there in space. Tropical storm force winds extending up to 310 miles from the center.
Had a 76 mile per hour wind gust, and we are 150 miles away from the center of the storm. That's how far reaching this thing is.
Florida Highway Patrol shutting down major bridges across Tampa Bay. Record surge making it too dangerous to pass. Waves battering all lanes. Down in Fort Myers, rescuers fighting the wind, deploying boats in waist-high floodwater. In South Pasadena, first responders rushing to emergency calls of raging fires surrounded by storm surge. And in Clearwater, a man and his dog rescued after his 36-foot sailboat started taking on water. Officials in the Big Bend asking those who chose not to evacuate before the storm to write their name and birth date on their body with permanent marker, hoping that that could help with identification in case of the worst.
My goodness. I think my roof is coming apart. Yeah, this is the real deal.
Michael Bobbitt staying behind, rescuing his neighbors on Cedar Key.
Their house is going to be completely covered in water. They would have died in that house.
More than 3 million customers without power, Florida, Georgia, and South Carolina so far. This AccuWeather storm chaser capturing transmission towers igniting. 911 overload. Cars abandoned on roads, water too high.
This storm is raging.
Waves crashing over walls, flooding homes.
I really couldn't even evacuate if I wanted to at this point.
Water flooding Matthew Heller's living room in Tampa, forcing him to break out his kayak to get around.
I've got full, probably 5 feet of water in my lower level right now. People just see this on their house. The man having kayak in our house, that's how the house big. Well, you see, them people take the best part. Them look upon it as the best part of the country, you know. Right? These are the big lands, enough lands. But as you can see, them are hurricane land.
This video showing the flood's sheer power as it rushed in.
Everything's gone.
Leaving downed trees and power lines, buckled railroad tracks, cars overturned.
Only just a few months ago, in September 2020.
Okay, people, and you hear them say everything gone, every material thing gone, you know, them still have life. Right? At least nature leave them with life. It give them an opportunity to rebuild again. Rebuild with some love. Yes? No? As we proceed.
A devastation struck. Hurricane Helene swept through Southeast America, killing over 180 people and causing up to $160 billion in property damage. According to reports.
Wow. $160 billion? Got enough insurance money, you know. Billion. As we proceed, people.
Helene made landfall in Florida on September 26, 2024, as a Category 4 hurricane, bringing catastrophic damage and flooding to several states, including Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Tennessee, and Virginia.
This next story I'm about to tell you is not one of celebration, so I just want to preface that before I start. So you guys have heard a lot about the Hurricane Helene to be exact, that made landfall in late September, and it hit states like Florida, Georgia, Tennessee, Virginia, and the Carolinas, if you will. Now, it said it was about 140-mile-an-hour winds that went through a lot of those states, causing a lot of flooding. Even to this recording, there's flooding, there's hundreds of people missing, and there's about 180 people to this point that have been verified killed.
The deadly storm has left many areas in the southeast U.S. struggling to recover.
I'm okay. My car's gone.
I'm okay. It's okay.
Everything's gone. It's all gone.
It's okay. It's okay.
Are your parents okay?
They're okay.
Was anybody in the gym?
It's okay. It's okay.
This is downtown Marshall, North Carolina. Right now, it's all gone. All those buildings that used to be there, the depot, Honda's Auto, Lois's building, Jeff Riddle's warehouse.
Okay, people. All right. You see, that's nature. That me say no. You see, nature, you can't stand in the way of nature, you know. Nature do what nature do. And you have to deal with nature the best way possible. All of the people that go nature always lose, you know. Some people then climb mountain and you find them body after. Yes, some people conquer the mountain and them still go back and them want to do it again and again. I'm gonna tell you, say nature always win.
Even cause tornadoes.
People, I tell you, say, yo, there's nothing more fiercer than, yo, nobody no better than nature, you know. There is nobody better than nature. As bad as them people are bad. Everything nature take, just for sure said, them not different from we. They're not no different from us. How comes they never tell nature to go on? How comes they never put up a sign say no nature allowed? You see how some humans foolish people? Some humans so foolish. Just for sure you say. As bad as uno is, something better than uno take everything and uno can't do nothing about it. Uno can't put a price, uno can't put 100 trillion, gazillion dollar upon it. Nature don't prove it point already. And I'm not telling you, say, yo, car mama coming up. Car mama is coming. Because car mama is natural, divine, and spiritual. Car mama is for us. And car mama is coming. As we proceed, people.
It was so devastating that in some of these areas, helicopters were needed to rescue people from the roof of a hospital. In other areas, flooding and landslides cut off towns and communities. Some of these places have been left without clean water.
This morning, Helene's devastation gripping communities across the southeast. The death toll rising. At least 227 people killed. Downed trees and mud cutting off towns in North Carolina, with authorities working to restore power across the state. In the small town of Batcave, we witness Helene's dark aftermath. And I want you to see what's happening with this house here. It appears that...
Dark aftermath? Dark for who? There's sunshine after. Birds come out, all of the nature, then yeah, it was only dark for people who own all of them same thing and all of them building and put a price tag on everything. Doesn't matter, people. I'm telling you, said this life that we have is so amazing. All we have to do is love a little bit more, care a little bit more. Big up humanity. Big up all of the people that will fight for humanity. Enough love. As we proceed.
Appears that this home was completely moved off its foundation. You see the chimney here. This is the chimney that's really in the ground, and there's the rest of it. A remote town decimated, bridges sliced in half, making access significantly challenging.
Rescue efforts, too, have been slowed by the large amount of damage. Some of the people who need the most help live in areas that are very difficult to reach.
Some residents here still trapped at home, volunteers using ATVs. They just told us they're trying to get to somebody up on the mountain.
Many roads are still blocked by fallen trees and other debris. In western North Carolina, over 400 roads are closed. In some locations, only emergency vehicles are allowed on the roads. In many areas, the storm knocked out power and cell service. Close to 2 million people were said to be stuck without power, and many turned up missing. Very sad, isn't it? But that's not all. Something also very unexpected and weird happened alongside this hurricane devastation that got the whole internet abuzz with wonderment. Hurricane Helene, in all its destruction, was said to have only destroyed the sundown towns in the United States. Yes, you heard correctly. Only the sundown towns were affected.
Grand Rising TikTok. Man, I just found out that the hurricane only hit all sundown towns all across the South. Tennessee, North Carolina, Florida, all of sundown towns, God came through and wiped out the whole city. And remember now, we got 3 more hurricanes coming next week. I hope Yahushua will make it 15 hurricanes. I mean, this is good news. This is good news. I love hurricanes. I tell you, I love hurricanes. I love tornadoes. I love that. I love it because that's the work of God.
Did y'all hear about them sundown towns that just got swept away in the hurricane? Well, I bet y'all didn't know. Oh, you did? Okay, good. I bet y'all didn't know that just days prior to them getting swept away in the hurricane, which, by the way, only the sundown towns got affected as badly as we see it on our timelines. Yeah, but just days prior to that, guess what? On Telegram, right? Apparently, there's a group. I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but they just got caught by Homeland Security and the FBI. Now, apparently, word on the street is allegedly they've been planning to do incite a race war here in America. The plan was to incite a.
FBI and when them name they shut it down, I know Donald Trump has started back up again. People, don't make nothing up. Just watch the movie. That's all. As we proceed, people.
race war. Baby, it's people from all over the globe in that group, in that Telegram group. Look it up. It's here on TikTok. They got a video about it as well. Apparently, word on the street is that they was teaching each other how to make them kablooies, smablooies, the big kablooies, smablooies, so that the ones that got pipes in them, it goes in a box and you package it up and you.
Yeah, people, she was just going too much explanation on the same thing. And we know what she's talking about. I don't know she have to, no one said the word and then no one said the word. We know what it is. Them are try to make things for cause chaos, right? In a. Well, I'm telling you, say sometimes some people have too much time on them and them not have nothing to do, so them just come up with some ideas where instead of make the world better, them want to make the world worse. But I'm telling you, say, they more damage than we, people. That's the problem. You see, the psychotic people, them way more damage than we, Me not pray for them, right? Me rather have pity upon them. Because I know so them sick. So when karma come for them, I just turn my head because I don't want to see what happened to them. I don't want to see what happened to them people. Because I'm telling you, say nothing good ever come of bad people, We never hear a bad person where people say, oh, this person live a good, enjoyable. No, pure always destruction, always torment, always hurt, always all of them things that bad people carry. That's who they are. So when bad things happen to bad people, it's deserving, right? Me nah go pray for nobody for this. Me just say, where them get them take.
Imagination that goes in a box and you package it up and you leave it. Okay, it may come with a detonator. They was teaching each other how to do that. They was giving each other advice on how to fulfill these tasks. And basically, it was all due to the election. It was going to start kicking off around the election. As you can tell, we're close to the election. So for 30 days, things were supposed to kick off here, there, everywhere. They all plan to do it globally. And it was just caught by Homeland Security. Now, how is it that y'all was just caught by Homeland Security and then literally days later after you're caught by Homeland Security, all of a sudden 3 hurricanes sweep through and the only thing that gets taken out is them sundown towns, baby? God is trying to tell you something. Let go of that hate from your heart because it is driving you into the deepest, darkest pits of hell.
It seemed like that storm hit a bunch of sundown towns. I don't know. You tell me. Y'all tell me. But it seemed like a lot of the places where it hit, and it didn't even hit none of the places it was really supposed to hit the hardest. It hit a bunch of the sundown towns up there, North Carolina and Tennessee. Now, I'm not wishing bad on them, but I'm just saying, somebody correct me if I'm wrong. Let me know what's going on.
I'm telling you, man, my intuition be working crazy sometimes because that's exactly what I was thinking, and it seems like I was right. And it is a lot of sundown towns. Let's check it out together.
Y'all understand how bad it is in the southeast right now. We have towns that don't exist anymore. Chimney Rock is gone.
He just mentioned Chimney Rock. Now we're gonna look at the demographic in Chimney Rock. Let's check it out. Chimney Rock demographics. The racial makeup of the village was 94% white. You know what I'm saying? Native American, then you got other races. Black is not even in there. Alright, so there goes fact number 1 for y'all. It's crazy. Let's check out another one.
The city of Asheville is cut off from the world. It's not
Now let's check out Asheville. Let's see what the demographic of Asheville is like. Asheville, we got 80% white, Black or African American 10%, and then the other races 4%, and then 1%. So as you can see, the majority is like white, and that's somewhat of a sundown town, with obviously majority of a white town. So yeah, he's right, and my intuition was right too. Let's see what else you say real quick.
This is on Highway 123 headed from Aisley to Greenville. And this was a 1 mile long line to get gas because they were the only people we knew around that had gas left. I got all the way to the end and they were out. They had no gas. We checked every gas station in Pickens and Aisley and Liberty.
So I guess you said, Aisley, Pickens, and Liberty. I'm not sure what state these towns are in, but I'm gonna try to look them up real quick since it's sort of relevant, obviously. Let's see what we got. So we got Pickens, North Carolina. We got 72% white, 13% Black African American, and then 11% other races and Asian, and 1%. All right, so it's looking like a majority Caucasian so far. Let's see what else we got. Then finally we got Liberty, Tennessee, 91% white, 7% Black African American, and then less than 1% Asian. And as a matter of fact, Black African American is less than 1%. The other races is 7%. So yeah, looks looking like a majority, Caucasian and heathen sundown town.
Yeah, people. So most of these towns is a majority of the people in them town is Caucasian people, right? And if them have like 1% or 2%, it's usually people them will come there, them work in the town, but then can't live in the town. So probably you can say and the census, it says some black people live there, but not really. As we proceed, people.
Caucasian and heathen sundown town. So yeah, there you go.
So North Carolina, did y'all really think y'all were gonna hang a black man and get away with it? Really? Did you really think, North Carolina, that you were going to hang a black man, say that he committed suicide and get away with that shit? No. That's why God sent Helene, flooded out all that shit. Yeah, look, man, all these sundown towns, I want God to destroy them. All of them. I want him to drown them people.
People understand this, right? You wanting God to destroy them, I told you. But all of these towns, all of them they're under the law, All of these towns are under the law. They're not like outside of America. They're part of America. They're in America. So God not supposed to destroy them people when them people are do wrong. It's supposed to be illegal for these people to do these things. But again, the two youth them what we talk about at the beginning of the program, right? What happened to them? The police then say them box up each other. One shoot the other one and the other one shoot himself. And then it turned out not to be true. Them arrest somebody where them say take picture at the scene and send it out. So even though there's laws there to protect, the law not protect nothing. It's not supposed to be Jesus come save we. That's why I say policies. As we proceed, people.
Towns, I want God to destroy them. All of them. I want him to drown them people. I don't care, man. I don't give a man. I don't give a all sundown towns. I don't look. I'm asking for it.
Okay. He's asking for all of those sundown towns to be gone. That's different. Yes. Asking for the sundown towns to be gone, but asking God to destroy the sundown town them? No. Because one of the comment them when I did read in the comment section, it said, how is it that we are avoiding these towns when we are supposed to go to these towns and demand that they stop doing what they're doing. People, the law doesn't stop these people from doing what they're doing. Donald Trump right now I kick out people illegally out of the country. The man pack up the plane with the people, them people who don't have no criminal record, people. Overnight, the man come out and say him never signed the paper, and the people them show the paper where the man signed the executive order or whatever him sign. And the man come out and say, no, I know me sign it. So it's what does it matter, people, when there's nothing protecting us? There's nothing. Because the law is just lawless. Man say it. Some of these police officers, when them go home, them put on them mask and then go out. So when them have on them uniform, them have to turn a blind eye to what's happening. That is our society, past, present, and it will be the future if we not change it. As we proceed.
Downtowns. I don't look. I'm asking for it. I'm asking for the destruction of sundown towns. But y'all thought y'all was going to hang people and that it was just going. No, not my God, not my God.
It's just mighty coincidental that Hurricane Helene flooded out a lot of those sundown towns. No, I'm not saying that they deserved it. I don't want y'all to think that I'm saying I don't think anybody deserves to lose their entire lives, at the blink of an eye because of a storm.
Okay, and that me not understand that part because anytime them people lynch them people, right? These people don't deserve to die because these people were hung for no reason. Most of the people with them hang them lie. All of the stuff them I'ma got you. It's all based on lies. It's policeman, them all of the town sheriff, everybody turn them eye, all of these things. So I don't care. I can't say it's not supposed to happen. That's why I'm gonna say karma. Just having a conversation about this is like it's pointless. Them town is not supposed to exist because those people are not allowed to do the things what them do, but the law let them do it. The first thing we have to look on is the laws and the people who are governing. As we proceed, people.
But it's mighty fucking coincidental. Okay? They exist. Don't be delusional. They're still out there. There's still racism out there. I feel like people brushing it under a rug because it's a tragedy. I get that. But the facts of the situation is that a lot of these places were sundown towns. Do I think people or anybody deserve? No. But again, the facts are that a lot of these places that flooded out unexpectedly were sundown towns.
Karma. Karma shows up and says, you guys been doing this for so long, and the government lets you guys do it. And nobody beats nature. Nobody beats nature. Anytime nature come out and ready to step on people, them step. And that's me say, if you don't stand in the way of nature, nothing is gonna do you. But the moment you stand up in front of nature, when we go up on the winter walk and see the water, the ice and the snow, them just I work together naturally. People get involved and try to dominate things. And this is how society is. That's why I say there's no peace amongst humanity because people don't practice peace. They practice war. But nature even out everything.
And a lot of these places that flooded out unexpectedly were sundown towns. Feel free to go ahead and Google it. Not all, but some of them. Most of them.
They really thought the ancestors forgot. I'm going to say it again like Dr. Umar. They really thought the ancestors forgot. They tried to lie to us. They tried to cover up Javion's case. And now this is the worst flood ever in the history of North Carolina. And for my people that had to get in the way of this, for my black people that had to get in the way of this, I apologize. I wish I had multiple trucks where I can just come and had a team of people just come deliver to my people. And to other races, as long as you're not in a sundown town, and as long as you're not holding my people back, as long as you're not trying to kidnap my people, as long as you're not trying to harm my people.
The internet and media have been so abuzz with so much excitement concerning this devastating outbreak and the manner in which nature had chosen to go about it. And while the Black community were all caught up in the news, some in the strangest astonishment, while others in their wildest indignation, this didn't sit well with the white community.
Uncle Wolfie here. Why the seeing people praising all these people dying, all these towns gone, because they think it's sundown towns? I am an anthropology major, and I am going to spend the next few years proving that these sundown towns do not work in the capacity that they used to. I am from Vidor, Texas. I lived there, grew up there, still have family there. Here's their logo. And I have every different shade of wheat in my family. Prepare to see a book in a few years, because this pisses me off. These towns are not like they were 40 years ago whatsoever. I was 10 minutes down the road from Jasper, Texas, when that man got dragged down the road. These are just Americans at this point. Most of those people who were super and overly racist have died off. These are just Americans.
Listen, this much I show you. You can't say them people that dead off. The first poor part of this program shows that the man them backs up the two little youth. All this a man a come and say them things. And that much I show you all them people just believe what them believe. It named Sundown Town for a reason. And it's not just one of them town that did it. And I know about them places a long from a little bit. Because we used to communicate, we used to talk about certain things. We used to help out each other. I'm going to tell you, so once we become a certain way, we just stop look out for each other. And this moment, I say we're so separated in so many ways. So this man attack and attack. Again, anybody can say anything. It doesn't have to be true. But they call Sundown Town for a reason. And they do exist. Even now.
We're super and overly racist have died off. These are just Americans. Stop saying
American racists. No matter what you call them. That's me say evil is still evil, no matter what you call evil. That's the part me not understand. Evil is evil, and it's the practice that these people practice. As we proceed.
Shit!
Are you online celebrating the destruction of Appalachia because you think that it's just a bunch of sundown towns? Are you aware that there is a Cherokee Nation in those mountains? There are Black Americans in those mountains. There are Latino Americans in those mountains. If you don't believe me, go look up the list of who...
Okay, you see, she said in the mountains, but not in these towns, because first of all, they're not allowed in these towns. All of them people that she talked about are not allowed in these towns, because all of them people are considered dark here, black here, whatever them call them. So they might be around the town, they might work in the town. Again, 4% or 10%. They're not living in, they're not part of the community. They're outsiders. As we proceed, people.
There are Latino Americans in those mountains. If you don't believe me, go look up the list of who lost their lives.
You see, and she keeps on saying in those mountains, not in those towns.
Plastics in Tennessee. It shouldn't matter. I shouldn't have to be pointing out the minorities to you.
Yeah, you should not point them out. But when they come in at the town, them point them outdoor people. What the man say? Him going at the McDonald's and them all the music stop. Then give the man him food quick, all the food when the man never order, then give the man the food. Then say, hey, take it, come out, leave.
To you. What your heart should break. These are your countrymen, for God's sake.
Oh my goodness. Oh boy. These are your countrymen. But me tell you, sometimes them people are lynch people and I hang people, like them is different. Them is not even human. That are the thing, you know. Ah boy. But me tell you, sometimes them people come out and talk. We need to listen, people. Listen.
Wait, I'm stunned. I'm floored. What you're participating in is not leftist. It's not an leftist ideology ideal. What you're participating in is classist, ableist bullshit. And an insane prejudice towards the South because you've been conditioned to believe that you are so much better and you are not.
Entire towns are wiped off the map. They have to airlift everything in because you cannot drive on the roads. My light just went out. Just like the light is going to go out in your eyes if you talk about my dang hometown again, buddy. I'm going to knock them out.
I'm sitting in my house that does not have power for 4 days, and you come on my page and say something like that. Appalachia is arguably one of the most racially diverse areas in the country. My friend group growing up was comprised of poor white trash, Native Americans, Mexicans, other Hispanic people, African Americans. Hell, we even had a Melungeon friend who was a mix of all three. For us people living in Appalachia, it's never been about race, it's been about class. And Appalachia is very much so a working class area. There's not a lot of economic opportunities out here in most
class. And then you see everybody down there, so now a lower class. All of these people is considered low class people because they don't have the money. And this is how the classes become. Then you have like the middle class, which has a little bit more money than the upper class, right? But people, me same time I open my school, class is always open, right? People. But so societies are screwed up things, you know. Past, present, and future. That's why I'm gonna say, if we paid attention to what's really happening in our existence, we'll be talking writing totally different from what's being in the mainstream media. Nobody's talking about our story. All I'm talk about is headline and trending. That has nothing to do with us. Oh, we are gonna carry on. Job security, food security. Them things are not important. Wow. Well, I'm sorry people, but name brand not important to me still, you know. It's not that important. Understanding is one of the key. But I could proceed, people.
most all of us are poor. And to say that we were underprepared is an understatement. And for you to go and say something as cruel and as mean as that we deserve this, honey, you got to do some real soul searching, some inner reflection on that, because that is just mean, cruel, and unnecessary. Absolutely hateful. Hateful, hateful, hateful.
That word again. that hate that hate word again. I mean, like again, bad people deserve what them get. Me don't know if everybody in the town bad, but how much of them people are in them town and try to change the town from what it is. One town, one shopkeeper, the woman said, that the woman that had the shop there for years. I tell the people them say, hurry up and leave. The woman is like, say she 170 years old. She know past, present, and future. She a live it, and it not change. Because at least she said, well, it used to be, but no, she's continue saying the same thing. Get out, get out. Say, my journey, people, is like, I understand it, you know. I totally get it, you know.
As we proceed, people.
I hear about them sundown towns that just got swept away in the hurricane. Well,
Yeah, we heard about them. And lots of people died in those, lost their homes, lost everything, and businesses, and they're struggling, and pets are missing, and people are missing.
Pets are missing. Yeah, pets are allowed, but humans are not, people. You don't understand, These people don't get the point. You guys can't say, a human being and treat a next any class of human less than who they are. Can't stand up on a pedestal and say we are great by no proof just because me have a gun. It doesn't make sense. Enough time the man talk about the Black Panther still alive and the man say, well, I didn't know what they wanted. Nobody ever knows what we want. Nobody ever care if you know what we want. And still not change. What we ask for, equal rights and all of the things them we ask for. Equal opportunity. Stop judge us by this color of our skin. We don't need no special category. Just make it open. If I 10 people in the room, they go by order of the best. It's not supposed to be go by the order of class or the order of race, but that's pretty much what it's based on most of the time. We are the younger people don't recognize that, We as a race don't recognize. Booker T. Washington, me tell you say, supposed to do a program on Booker T every day. And make him be like civic. Right? Because everything what the man talk about, right, is us being independent. What we are ball about them a tear down things and we don't care about them a tear down this because it's just them put a D beside a number and put some meaning so we can spend money. Are we supposed to highlight our heroes? We are wait upon them to highlight for heroes? That makes sense? Why would they highlight our heroes when they have no heroes? Then would I tell we say, oh, say for no hero, I feel hero too. But our heroes is not their heroes. As we proceed, people.
They're struggling, and pets are missing, and people are missing, and you're disgusting. Very, very disgusting.
Yes, we're all disgusting. We all know look, because I tell us that we are know nothing for a long time. So what does it matter we say anyways? It no matter. And that me not understand if we so disgusting what we say, it doesn't really matter. Who wish and who luck and who be what they call it, the leprechaun, and who want to be the witch and the fairy. Who cares? We don't matter. We don't belong in you guys' town, so anything we say nobody shouldn't even watch a channel where we depend anyways. We say them all listen to what we are say. But me say if we are the most watched people, the most hated people, the most robbed people, most cheated, what the hell? We're in the mix of everything. So even you saying that, you're putting us in the mix. People. As we proceed.
And you're disgusting. Very, very disgusting. I just don't understand why people are talking like this and going on like this. This is disgusting behavior, and you should be ashamed of yourself.
Says the people who kick out everybody out of the town. I wonder if she said it in front of a camera, but I wonder if she said it in front of a mirror. Should I really say that? Wanna kick out the people out of the town, wanna lynch, I don't but again, right? I am innocent. I am innocent. I am innocent. I do nothing wrong. I'm a criminal, but I do nothing wrong. I'm innocent. I'm innocent. I'm a criminal. I'm innocent. Which one is it? Can you be all of them together? Huh? Can you be an innocent criminal, guilty, all of that together? Huh? As we proceed.
It's disgusting. It's nasty behavior. People should not act like this. Grow up. God did not pick these people to send a hurricane to hurt. I have friends down there. Luckily, they're okay. But you people are just absolutely disgusting that are talking this way. Have the day you deserve.
I'm so y'all. Every single motherfucker. I can't believe how many people are making videos like this. Y'all should be ashamed of yourself. And when I say y'all, I mean black, white, or otherwise. Anybody who would have this kind of take during something so catastrophic happening. People have lost their lives, loved ones. Children have died. There's hundreds of people still missing and unaccounted for. And y'all.
Okay, and that's what I'm trying to show you. We on this side, we lose thousands and thousands and thousands of people. Continue losing thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of people. And all it takes for you guys to stop is just to practice equal rights and justice. That's all. Nature did that to you guys. And when you guys send around them pictures and all them things they want to enjoy, drive through the town with the dead bodies in the back of the truck and all of these stuff, I never hear any one of you guys come out and condemn those stuff. I need to see some of those videos. To say I'm a Caucasian person and I'd like to be a white person, so I'm gonna change my ways. I'm gonna do right, do white right. That's all. And again, I don't condemn. I don't agree with people laughing at people when they're in their misery. But I'm saying it was nature who did this. It was nature who came along and tore down everything. Nature felt it was wrong. So if you guys want to argue, I think you guys should argue with nature first of all. You guys should have a big sign at the one end of your town and the other end that says nature is not allowed. Nature should leave before sundown. If you guys put that there, put nature and, black people, then yes, no problem. But you guys only put black people because you guys have the evil trait to do these things to black people and get away with it. But again, I'd love for you guys to do that to nature, please. Ban nature from our town. Sue nature. Cuss nature. Take out no anger and frustration on nature. As we proceed, people.
For a gotcha moment and claim they're all motherfucking sundown towns and that they somehow like trying to insinuate that they brought it on themselves. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Never have I ever wanted to be able to have the ability to go through a telephone as much as I do today.
Ooh. People. People. That's so hilarious. So when she comes through the phone now, guess what's gonna happen, people? She's gonna give you a hug. She's gonna have some kumbaya moment, right? Because obviously when she comes through the phone, she's gonna come defenseless. She's not gonna come with some machine gun and some rifle or something like. No, she's gonna come wish some love. The same place where she's at right now, she could say, "I wish you some love," but she wished to come through the phone. If not tell you what her intention would be. It's good, people. Cause me tell you, say I could come on my channel. I could talk all day about how I feel about everything, society, everything. But you see, when you can find examples of society, for sure, say we have to change ourselves first of all. We, because them people are evil people. No matter, evil people will never change. You see, before them dead and them things them a go hell, at that time them a go tell you sorry for all the evil when me do my whole life. But why wait until you're dying to make a better you? Eh? So when you hear she talk them things, yeah, you think so just she alone she attack for? Our posse, our gang, our groups of conniving cutthroats, soul stealers. Yeah. But me say I wanna keep on giving creatures name titles that they don't. Them a creature. They're creatures. Creatures are creatures. But you don't give them hope. You give them name with sweet and you don't give for yourself them names, you know. You don't give yourself great, humble, loving, caring, understanding. Those are the titles we need to give ourselves. But we are give them title to people that don't deserve those titles. You understand? As we proceed.
To be able to have the ability to go through a telephone as much as I do today.
And then the electric response.
And then she stick up the middle finger, people. I want to see her face. I say, no go and go look on it, man. I said, the brother we box up the two little youth them. You look on him and look just like this at woman, yeah. I'm telling you, evil cannot be disguised. Evil cannot be disguised. Because evil is evil. It just look one way. It just look evil. I'm telling you, sometimes on a spider sense kick off, but just suppress it. As we proceed.
Metro K, reporting from Houston, was altogether poignant.
I'm not celebrating that happened to you, but how do you think black people feel? When y'all move in there with all of your money and, white privilege, and say, well, I want that property. I want that. And the developers say, bet. They built these nice, beautiful homes and stuff. And
I tell you, the man had a raft. He had a raft in his living room. I saw it big like the man have a raft in his living room. The man had a rafting. I saw him house big. Equal rights and justice for all. Any wish part, anywhere in the world, where them have injustice, blood a run. As we proceed, people.
People that live around those areas, they can't afford to live there now because y'all done bumped up the property values and the taxes and the rent and everything else typically goes up. And so what happens is now those black people are displaced, meaning they got to move somewhere else because they can no longer afford to live where they've always lived because now you're feeling a certain type of way. And I like that. I want to look out of my house and look at the water. So again, I'm not gloating. But what you're not ever going to do, okay? And I'm going to say this, and I've been saying this, and the Nation of Islam has been saying this, so this ain't original to me. You can't do what you're doing to black people and think God is going to sit up and say, oh, that's great. I love that beachfront property for you. I love that for you. He ain't saying that because what you do to people got to come back. And this ain't even just for them. This is for everybody. What you do to people got to come back to you.
And that me say, it's gonna come back. So nobody thinks that evil, some evil is better than other evil. Evil are evil. You can't hurt somebody and don't expect to get hurt. That's why I say I don't want to hurt nobody, but I don't want nobody to hurt me. That's my biggest thing, you know. I don't want nobody hurt me because me not in the hurting mood. I know some can't hurt people, but I don't want to hurt nobody unless them hurt me. That's just how I feel. And enough how we feel that way, they leave us alone. Stop doing the things for piss we off, for put you in the mood so we have to defend myself. That's why I say I love Booker T. Washington, because him say, we have skills. We have skills. Let's build our own community. And now them talk about segregation, no problem. But give we back something for what we put in. Because now we don't erase everything, right? Like so we never do nothing and we're gonna gain from what we do. We don't give back nothing out of it. So me not care when them talk, oh, Donald Trump is. Me say, I wanna vote in the man. The man say him I go do what him I go do. Him I go make America white again. And he's doing that. Him I kick out everybody and leaving all the Caucasian people to themselves. And Caucasian people don't like themselves. We know that. Caucasian people only do it to get along. As long as somebody there to oppress them get along to oppress them. But if there's nobody to oppress, them are gonna hate each other. Them really are gonna see how conniving and backstabbing them is. So we in the mix. I save them. We out of the mix. Good for us. And them say it. They say it. They say they don't know how to start groups and so as we proceed, people.
And this ain't even just for them. This is for everybody. What you do to people got to come back to you. So be careful what you do to people. Don't think you're going to do horrible things to people and you're going to live a great life. Now, you might not get it today. You might not get it tomorrow. Hell, you might not get it 5 years from now. But guess what? You're going to get it.
You're going to get it. Car Mama is coming. This is our best video so far for the whole year. Not saying. I am just saying me here 2 people are asked for what's coming. If we not ask feed people, how the hell it go happen? We need to ask feed. We need Car Mama. We need Car Mama to start talk to we. Because if they say, no, it's no problem, you know, we can always turn the next cheek and then we have 2 more extra cheek. No. It must stop. The evil must stop, people. So Car Mama, we are asked. These are the 3 we are asked. She asked, and the gentleman before him asked. Him asks, and I'm asking. We are asking. Car Mama, it's time. Car Mama, it's time. You know, see what them do? They're literally going back to where the position that they were in before. Right? Foot pound neck. I'm going to tell you, so the things what them do is deliberate. As we proceed.
When you think you're snug as a bug in a rug in your waterfront property, and then you hear on the news that a hurricane is coming through, and the hurricane went through, it took life, it took land, it took property, but you did the same thing. You did the same thing to people. So why are you special? Listen, I feel bad that happened to you, but I feel worse that it happened to my people.
Exactly. We don't care. We don't get the best property. We don't get the best part of the whole the cow. I want to choke on the meat. And what me say? We don't get the best part of the cow and I choke on the meat. What you want from we? We get the foot. We get the tail. we get the tripe, we get all of them same thing there. All we can't even afford the tail anymore. How much oxtail? I've got to do one next version of the oxtail part 4 or 5, because we can't even afford the oxtail, much less. We don't get the best property, the best everything. Big land, big house, big. And little hurricane pass through and no ball. It's just something to deal with. Just like the people that were did there before, no deal with them. The Indian them, the pan reservoir and all of them things there. That's just for no slice. Me no feel no way because I know me do it.
It was beyond terrible for African Americans back then, who had intertown businesses and day-to-day jobs to do to meet ends, or who liked to travel a lot in that era. There was neither safety nor security assured anywhere for poor suffering Negroes, most of whom were already so overwhelmed with untellable oppression and segregation, which in 1850 that time was legitimate, such as the Jim Crow and Black codes. An entire Black household could just drive into a town or pass through it, and that would be the very end of them, never to be found.
Never to be found. That's why I say I want to highlight as much as them people I can highlight people, because we have social media now to highlight the greatness, I tell you, and the worstness we highlight. The most disgusting, violent stuff. And we have so much great people. Yeah, them go on smartphones, so wanna be stupid. And trust me, enough of who definitely are playing that the role there. We not play them role there the bestest. We not all get paid to play them role there. Never think so. We don't get money to get paid. If you do them things there. We not just love it. That's why I say I just start delete, unsubscribe, delete. It don't make no sense. Because it there for no highlight, but to no choose. No choices. Nah, I agree with that no more.
Harm could come on every one of them in the way, or they could even get lynched for being found in some towns during sundown by whites. This cruelty would happen for so long, perpetuating for several years, until a diligent Black man came up with a genius idea, the Negro Motorist Green Book. Now what is the Negro Motorist Green Book?
Yay! A different color book. No red flag over here, people. A green book. All right. I'm going to tell you what green is. Each one teach one how to be better. Each one teach one how to be safe. People, even then we take time to look out for each other. This I'm going to create this a book here, you know. As we proceed. Hold on. I tell you, man, everything, all of the people them before us. I tell you, I never know about this man with the green book, you know. This would have been so important for last month. But I tell you, he's getting highlighted now, so I know nothing. Right? Okay, I'm going to tell you about the book now. Hold on, people. Sometimes the things that get me so excited, people. Because you see, for greatness, we contribute to a lot, you know. We contribute. And that I'm telling you that now them people get so upset, the people them know said the only thing they can do is just dig up what we do and just the man say it. The breadcrumbs are much I erase. Next the bread, people, next the bread.
Travel a lot in that era. There was neither safety nor security assured anywhere for poor suffering Negroes, most of whom were already so overwhelmed with untellable oppression and segregation, which in 1850 that time was legitimate, such as the Jim Crow and Black codes. An entire black household could just drive into a town or pass through it, and that would be the very end of them, never to be found. Harm could come on every one of them in the way, or they could even get lynched for being found in some towns during sundown by whites. This cruelty would happen for so long, perpetuating for several years, until a diligent black man came up with a genius idea, the Negro Motorist Green Book. Now, what is the Negro Motorist Green Book? The Green Book was born out of great concern for the safety of black travelers, searching for a better environment of people and greener pastures. Things had gotten so bad and beyond, horrible, hellish, for the black community.
Horrible, hellish. Eh? You see the man put together? Horrible, hellish. So one time when I put words together, people, that may I tell you, this English language, yeah, it's not a good thing. How we should define ourselves within it. People may tell us we have so much work for doing, but again, it's hard to get like-minded people together to think about certain thoughts when they have so much entertainment and distraction. That's our society now, people. And then we have the ones that don't care about nothing. And the one them, what me say? And the one them just respect the money. Money God. All right, as we continue with the Green Book.
Times, but blacks did always ever turn up with some way or the other to manage off living for their own safety and that of their families. The Negro Motorist Green Book, also called the Negro Traveler's Green Book, which was invented by Victor Hugo Green, an African-American.
Victor Hugo Green. Yes, so I can do a highlight on him personally. Can I tell you say he's a great too, because you see what the man look about? Look about with safety, or some tell us say even it shows that we used to look out for each other, We had no choice. Now we have a choice. And the choice is me not care. As we proceed.
Who was a New York City postal worker, was in fact a redemptive measure to achieving the objective of keeping African-American road trippers safe while traveling.
There's so much history within the pages of the Green Book. The Green Book was created and first published in 1936 by a man named Victor Hugo Green. He was a postal worker based in Harlem, and he had the idea for the book because of a Jewish friend of his had a guide for the Catskills, for Jewish families where they could go in the Catskills. And he looked at that and he said, hey.
Catskills? I never heard about that. Catskills. And so I'm in a class to people. As much as I'm teaching, I'm learning. And I'm not teaching, I'm sharing, because I'm telling you all of them things are on Google. Me just as I want to build a base for my channel where it's informative, we learn a lot, educate, we can make differences, I'm going to tell you, say take 1 people, 2 people to start something. And AI, because I'm going to tell you, say everything we are talking about AI, don't I say, yes. Thank you, AI. You have to love yourself, not you? Yes. As we proceed, people, Catskills, me have to go look that up, because I'm telling you, say even the Jewish people them did have something for themselves, and they still do. As we proceed,
this would be a great idea. This is something that the Black community needs. He also was married to a woman named Alma who lived in Virginia, and they would travel down to Virginia. And he, experienced all the things that African Americans experienced at that time in terms of traveling. And so he created the Green Book.
Hugo Green had written the Green Book as a guidebook to identify services and places relatively friendly to African Americans so they could find lodgings, businesses, and gas stations
Okay, so even that now, where you have them ratings and all them something that when you rate all the hotel where you stay and all of them things. Yeah. You see, what we didn't invent, people. And how much time you ever hear about the Green Book? Eh? I've never heard about it before until I listened to this. Yeah, man, say? Ah, boy. I tell you, say, we invent so much things, like we forget half of the stuff that we invent, you know. But it's still not stop us from being great. And continuously being great. When named the yesterday, him 13, Joshua Sudit, him 13 years old, and the man done in how much college already? University, I beg for him. Him would have loved for the people them set up on scholarship so him can go through school. I tell you that these things are things were worth promoting, you know. What am I say? But again, people, me not in it for the rah-rah. Me can't in it for the rah-rah when them people are in it for life and death. Understand? As we proceed,
would serve them along the road. Blacks were so endangered as a people in that era.
And we're still in danger. We still in danger.
By the cruelest of racial institutions and laws set up only for their torture, suffering, and eventually death, for merely driving through or into a town, no matter the hour, is gross and inhumane and evil. Without the Green Book, there was no way the safety of Black travelers could be guaranteed. Sundown towns were just all around at that time. There was no escaping it at all.
See, evil people that are around. Pure evil people. Pure evil people. Right around. Pure evil people. Wicked people. It better now? No, seriously. It better now? As we proceed,
Black families had fallen victim to this wickedness. In the South, these dangers were particularly severe, where Black motorists risked harassment, physical violence, or even murder for minor infractions, or for being in predominantly white areas. In some cases, African American travelers who got lost or sought lodging off the beaten path were killed, with little to no investigation by local authorities. Nonetheless,
and at the same thing with the two youth, them where them say one of them people, the police them say them box up each other, you know. The police they never do no investigation. I'm mad. I say no, that can't be. I them have to push back. Or is that the case with the close already and this a man where then catch would get away with it? This is 2025 people. That's why I'm saying time that brother that talk about, oh, that's in the past, it hurt me so much. What past? It's our very present we are talking about. As we proceed.
Nonetheless, in response to these misfortunes came the Negro Motorist Green Book. Must have taken a lot out of Green to identify the job and do the job right. His information had to be authentic, credible, doubtless. African Americans needed to know that once they have the Negro Motorist Green Book in their hand, they have the lodestar to all their safe settlements in the whole of the United States, away from white oppression and cruelty.
See, we did have a book for navigate through them system. That may I try show you, know. But now we just upon the open territory I get pick off. And somehow we are do the same thing. That's a full story, people. As we proceed.
Green wrote his guide to services in places relatively friendly to African Americans. Eventually, he also founded a travel agency. The legacy of sundown towns in the United States continues to be felt till this present day. Many of these towns remain overwhelmingly white, with African American populations that are significantly lower than the state average. This is not merely a coincidence. It is a direct result of the intentional exclusion and racism that was perpetuated in these communities. Furthermore, the trauma and pain inflicted upon African American families who were forced to flee these towns has been passed down through generations. The emotional and psychological toll of this experience cannot be overstated. The story of sundown towns is a painful reminder of the racism and intolerance that has long plagued the balance of American society. But it is also a testament to the resilience and strength of African American communities, who have continued to thrive despite the obstacles placed in their path. In closing, every time the sun dips below the horizon, casting long shadows across the landscape, it's hard not to wonder about the countless lives forever altered by the brutal realities of these towns. The families forced to flee in the dead of night, leaving behind homes, livelihoods, and loved ones. The children who grew up with the constant fear of violence, their childhoods forever marred by the specter of racism. The mothers who wept for their sons, lost to the senseless brutality of a system designed to keep them in their place. As we move forward, it is essential that we acknowledge and confront the dark history of sundown towns. This requires a willingness to listen to the stories of those who were impacted, to confront our own biases and prejudices, and to work towards creating a more just and equitable society. This brings us to the end of yet another enlightening video.
No, this is just part one of Sundown Town. I'm telling some people, look, it doesn't end enough. That's why I said them things are so important. I don't know why it's so important to me and not important to other people. But many people may say, them now look ahead. They don't see themselves returning. They don't see themselves being part of nothing. But I always know say I've always been part of this culture, I've always been roots to myself and to my ancestors. And just to so much things I got through before, it's like I now say it's all cases is because of racism, but many cases, no matter which part you're going at this world, as long as your skin is my skin tone, you're not gonna get love from anybody who don't like you. That's why I say it's so important for like, right? And see ourselves as how we're supposed to be seen. Because if me not respect you and you not respect me, how is somebody else gonna respect us? There's no respect us if there's no respect between us. These things, people, it's so important for our existence, But because we don't know what our existence is supposed to be, nothing is important except money. I'm gonna tell you, say, $50 million can't get you out of jail. $50 million can't get you out of jail. So how much money worth? People pass off, right? And them have trillions of dollars. Never help them. Right? It did not help them at all, people. Let's try to find the next thing, people, because I tell you, till them there, I'm just me just create my educational for later on. So people,
So this so this video now is from me never bring her on my platform before, but me used to watch her long before. I'm tell you, so sometimes the people them, you know, I don't know, them start off one way and then them switch. I don't know, in a sense. I don't know, people. It's just weird, cause I don't know if I can say people get paid or something like that to be a certain way. Once you start make money, it's like it's it's not okay anymore to be who you were before. So this one is Ivy and Anita. And she always a talk about you know, she's the black and white thing. But me say them, I say them, evil people, right? Doesn't matter, evil people and good people. Because evil don't have no color, just have a shape. So it would say it's there's many topic in this. It says it sucks that we don't have what black women have. This is why white women are upset. But we tell some people, we just said, well, it's a continuous of past, present, and future, right? This is why it's not off topic or anything. We just, it's just, when you listen to people talk sometimes and you hear them talk, you have to, if you don't laugh, people, you're crazy. It's gonna drive you crazy, right? Or it go put you on state of shock or something like that. But when you listen sometimes, I say, I love listen and I love to understand. Because when people are being honest, they're being honest. I just you not accept it. I tell you, say, a person might tell you something, and you not believe it because so you call this person a nice person or a what you say, you're in love with this person or whatever it is with this person that you have to this person. But whatever them tell you, which is the truth, you just won't believe it. Like you, oh, I can't accept the truth from people. You can't accept the truth from anywhere. I mean, you can get the truth from anywhere, but you have to accept it. So then people are talk and I talk about the separation of segregate no the segregation. No, this one is about they have a trend on TikTok. First them have one where black women support black women business and stuff like that. Well, some one man, some I don't think I was allowed to join that. But again, we can come up with our own thing. We don't have to wait for other people to give us what we want.
Bye.
Okay, so
I'm going to answer this. Respectful question. Why is it so hard for white women to form a sisterhood community? Buckle up.
And the rest of the comment says it's like the black girl follow train all over again. So for those of us who are just hearing about the black girl follow train, it was a trend that happened on TikTok 2023, early 2023. That's when the trend came about.
yeah, that's when I heard about it too. It was black girl support black girl. It was like the Black Power movement again, but it was only situated on TikTok. And again, nobody's gonna promote anything for us unless we promote it ourselves. So me did like how them did promote each other business and me say TikTok is not just for the dummies. There's people who have business on TikTok and stuff like that. Right? But me just I said the platform is a short attention platform. As we proceed.
2023, early 2023, that's when the trend came about. And it was this amazing trend that fostered community in the Black women community. And it was, something that Black women all around the world participated in. It was very massive, very beautiful. It was a trend that was started by an African American sister to help Black women follow and support each other, support their businesses, build a platform for themselves. The Black Girl Follow train became so big to the point where it's got to #1 on TikTok, and it stayed #1 for a very long period of time.
Okay, and you see, when the woman them put their mind together to do things, and that may I try show you. The strength of the Black woman was always the strength of any house. So when this trend was going on and I was watching it, I say yes. I see it like the all of the people them business and all of them stuff there. People, I'm telling you, say I support, and that's one thing we don't do for each other is support. I say one thing that you can buy Gucci, Prada, but you can support a small business, and it's true. I have that problem, people, even with my sauces, people are telling me, oh, we need to reduce the price. That me not understand, That's what I don't understand. How is it when I go help me, right? I don't know bankrupt me. That makes sense? Some of the things I'm gonna say as me people, trust me. But again, I don't want to take up everything upon my head. It's like so as soon as I sell my business at that time I gotta be rich. Not me owning my business, When me sell it. So somebody else can be rich off of it. I feel we style that, man. As we proceed anyways.
On for a very long period of time. The hashtag Black Girl Follow train was #1. It got to a point where white women started becoming jealous of the trend. They basically tried to usurp the Black Girl Follow train and they started calling it the White Girl Follow train. It was crazy. It was a whole thing, right? And I actually made a video on this when it happened, and I'm going to link that video in the description if you want to check it out. I did like a real breakdown, who started it, how it was going. But back to the comments. Right now, I'm not quite sure exactly what she's saying. It's like the Black Girl Follow train all over again. So for clarity, after going through this video, I'm going to go to the video where this comment was dropped so we can see exactly what she's saying. But let's get on with this video first.
So there's a short answer to this and a long answer to this and a lot of nuance, but I'm going to give you my take.
Okay, so again, everybody has an opinion. Not everybody's opinion is right. So that's where you listen to people and then you come up with your own idea where you stand on certain things. I tell you, my stance is always betterment of us. That's always my stance. Love and unity, respect, manners, respect. Enough. I say we fi start something for ourselves, Just start it. Not to be finished, We just have to start something, we're worth something. As we proceed.
Let's get on with this video first.
So there's a short answer to this and a long answer to this and a lot of nuance, but I'm going to give you my take. And here it is. White women have a really hard time forming a sisterhood community because we don't trust each other. And we don't trust each other because we treat each other the way that we treat Black women when Black women are not around. And I'm going to explain that.
You see? Them need an outlet to get out for them frustration, And that them I say. Because when we are not around, but when Black women or Black people are not around, them have to abuse somebody. Right? Them have to abuse somebody. Or else them are going to end up abuse themselves. And they can't do that. They don't want to do that. Meanwhile, when we there around, we abuse each other.
So here's the thing about whiteness. Whiteness, like this is how I conceptualize it. Whiteness is a fractal, right? So a fractal is a shape that is the same at large scale as it is at small scale. Tree, branch, twig, that's a fractal. Whiteness works the same way. Whiteness structures itself the same way in the nation that it does in the community, that it does in the family. And that happens because whiteness, to me anyway, is a set of values, not necessarily a set of beliefs. And I'm talking about whiteness as like distinct from white supremacy. This is just like, this is the value system that kind of our country is based on, kind of a lot of us were raised with. And it's not predicated on belief. You can change your beliefs and still be in the value system of whiteness. So this is just...
people, I hope you understand, right? So the white supremacy is different, right? But within their whiteness, there's levels. She said a tree. They're all part of the tree, but different. The branch, the bark, the root. As we proceed,
conceptualize it to myself. So the thing that whiteness, one of the things that whiteness values a lot is hierarchy. And it's a very specific kind of toxic hierarchy where all of the good stuff goes up and all of the bad stuff goes down. So the higher you are in the hierarchy, the more benefit of the doubt you get, the more accommodations you receive, the more people are willing to like humor you, the more power you get, whether it's political, social, monetary power. Just the more protection and stuff.
So the higher you are, the more you get away with. People, listen. So them lower the bullshit, right? From the top goes down. So there's bullshit in their camp, but them just pass it on. You know what I say? Sometimes we listen to this, we laugh, people. As we proceed, because let them talk.
Or protection and status you have. The lower you are in the hierarchy, the more you get shit on. The lower you are on
the lower you are on the anarchy is the more you get shit on. You understand?
The less respect you're entitled to, the less care, the less concern. And the people lower down on the hierarchy are also the receptors of a lot of redirected negative emotions from the people higher on the hierarchy. And
all she attack is just she's prettying up everything, right? So the lower you go, the worse you get treated. The higher you are, the more privilege you're entitled to. The more, all when you're not funny, then think you're funny. Ha ha ha
ha. For example, people who are born in the white women box are heavily socialized to redirect their anger away from the people above them and down to the people below them, right? That's why you'll see a white woman who got cheated on her husband go into a store and make a cashier cry, right? Who got cheated.
Okay. That's why I'm telling you, say sometimes people have issue and then come take people have issue and then come take out them issue. Look, I know the cashier her husband a cheat with, but that are the only person she can't bad up. Because she can't bad up her husband.
Husband? Blech. Or like a white woman who like got yelled at by her boss, goes home and all over her kids, right? Because white women are heavily socialized to redirect that anger downward. And the thing is, that hierarchy exists no matter who's there. So as soon as a Black woman comes in, she's automatically at the bottom of the hierarchy and she gets all the
The truth sometimes, people. Tell us that we don't have to make it up. We don't have to make these stuff up. We don't have to. Because then people are actually do it. The movie is actually being played out in our life. Yes? I tell you, She's people. Get too excited with this, yeah.
that hierarchy exists no matter who's there. So as soon as a Black woman comes in, she's automatically at the bottom of the hierarchy and she gets all the
I actually made a video yesterday. I'm going to link the video in the description if you want to check it out. The reason why I'm mentioning that video right now was because what that sister said in that video plays directly into what this lady just said. Because sis in her video said that once you as a Black woman are dating a white man and you eventually are going to find yourself in his circle, right? His friend group, you're going to be associating with people that he associates with because you are in that world now. You would find that white women get very threatened by your presence if you are especially a confident, beautiful, educated, asserted Black woman. They would feel a desire to want to humble you and quote unquote put you in your place. I think that sister's video and this video are two sides of the puzzle. So when you bring them both together, it just fits perfectly well. That sister's video was so well put. She gave tips on things you should know before getting into an interracial relationship, or how did she even say it? Facts that no one talks about interracial relationship. I believe that's how she worded it.
Facts about being in an interracial relationship or marriage that nobody is going to tell you but me. So listen up.
So yeah, if you are someone who's into that, or you know someone who's into that, you might want to check that video out and share to them as well. It's a very interesting and eye-opening video. But without further ado, let's get back to this video.
But if there are no Black women or whatever, or like other people who are
minorities, she's trying to say. If there's no minorities in it, y'all get the worst side. As we proceed,
lower on the hierarchy, then white women will do it to each other. Every white woman I know has a story of being abandoned, abused, exploited, like by a white woman she considered as a friend. And so we don't trust each other. And because I think we think of white supremacy as a set of beliefs and not think about the values aspect of whiteness, it's really hard for us to deconstruct why we treat each other that way. And I think it's really hard for us to actually build a true sisterhood community that's not just based on like support all women except for the ones I don't like.
This conversation right now is about specifically white women, but if we want to look at it on a broader scale, especially looking at like European history and stuff, you would see that these people don't really like each other, regardless of gender. They are not really united. The only thing that's giving this illusion of unity that we are seeing right now is the fact that they are unified on the front of exploiting people for their own benefits. They are only unified on the basis of the color of their skin and what they can use that for, the selfish things that they can use that for. If you were to take that away, they don't really like themselves. Hence why over there in Europe, they are still unaliving themselves like they were in the past, right? Look at what Russia and Ukraine they are doing, and I've been doing for how long have they been doing this for now? That's why you would find that if you look at history, the first group of people that them British people colonized were like the Irish people. I remember when I first heard about the history of how the British colonized the Irish. The only knowledge I have of colonization was the British, colonizing every other non-white people, right? And I could understand, not agree with them doing it, but in my head, okay, I'm like, oh, I see how they could come up with this ludicrous justifications for their actions, right? And make all of these fake biological statements and to justify their actions because we don't look like them. But when you learn about the Irish, and then I look at the Irish, and then I look at the British, I'm like, these are like the same people. If you put an Irish person and a British person and tell me to pick the Irish and the British, I would not be able to just off of appearance, off of features. If they do love themselves, the history that we know of how they used to war endlessly, uselessly for no goddamn reason and unalive themselves would not have existed. They only stopped unaliving themselves and created this false this illusion of unity because they discovered other groups of people that they could unalive and oppress instead. Europeans just might be the most tribalistic groups of people on the face of the earth. And I say this because when we talk about Africans, for example, right, and how, we are tribalistic, which is true. I'm never going to say we are not, that we don't have tribalism on this continent. But isn't it crazy how when you look at the history of the Europeans, right, and you look at all of the things that they used to do to each other there, which was, if we want to call a spade, based off of tribe. They were doing these things to people who were not from the same country as them, people who did not speak the same languages as them, right?
Let's remember, during the colonial period, mid-1600s, there was no such thing as white people. I know some people who are now called white find that shocking, right? Because they think whiteness is real, right? But whiteness was created. Europeans didn't call themselves white. We didn't call ourselves white. We weren't all members of one big happy family. Are you kidding? Have you studied the history of Europe? The history of Europe was about killing each other. That's what we did in Europe. We just killed each other before we figured out there were other people to kill. We just killed each other, right? I mean, that was the history of Europe. The English hated the Irish, right? Northern Italians didn't even think that Southern Italians were Italians. The Germans hated everybody, and everybody hated their ass right back, right? There was no team called white, no race called white, but all of a sudden, in the middle of the 1600s, there was. Why? Why was it suddenly necessary to create this thing called the white race?
I started.
And that, people, we have to look into. And that me say, we say certain things and don't understand what we say. Right? When we say white people, what are we talking about?
1600s, there was. Why? Why was it suddenly necessary to create this thing called the white race?
It's about tribe. But when we think about the Europeans, we don't think about them as, tribes, right? But that's what it is. But let me go back to the point I was trying to make earlier when I mentioned Africans and, tribalism over here. Isn't it crazy how even as quote unquote tribalistic as we are, which by the way, we were not always this tribalistic. There is a history behind how tribalism came on the continent and why rather things are looking as crazy as it is right now, today, 2025, which, not surprisingly, it was the Europeans that introduced tribalism during colonization. And I've made a video on this, by the way. This white South African guy spoke about how they did it on the continent. So yeah, I'm going to link that video as well in the comment section. You can go check it out. But back to the point, right? Isn't it crazy how you cannot find the same level of bloodshed on our continent, Africa, as diverse as we are, diverse, this English language will not kill me. As diverse as we are, we did not war and unalive ourselves the way they did. Like, you cannot find even a percentage of the kind of bloodshed that they were doing over there in Europe, right, here on our continent. So it's just very interesting when you really think about these things.
And the thing about it is, one last thing, I don't want to ramble too much, but the one last thing about it is that hierarchy exists, that value system exists everywhere. You can see it in small Southern white women church community. And you can also see it in white woman-coded, well, I mean, white men do it too, but you can also see that hierarchy in white leftist spaces, progressive blue leftist spaces. It's pervasive and it's harmful. And I think it's something that we really need to talk about deconstructing in terms of how we interact with each other. So that's my take. Let me know what you think.
So the video this comment came from, let's check it out.
Hey, fellow white women people, let's talk. So I know, because I too was raised in the white woman box, I know that you are lonely right now. I know you're scared. I know that white supremacist culture has taught you that the only way to be safe is to be accepted, to conform, to be accepted by a group. And I know that you've been taught that if you're not accepted by a group, it means you're lovable and you'll be isolated forever. Okay? That's our trauma. We were given that on purpose. That's how they push us into doing shit. Okay? I need you to stop making that trauma Black women's problem. Okay? I get it. I'm with you. Black women are fantastic at community building. They're fantastic at resource sharing. They are measurably some of the best in the country, possibly like of almost any group, the best at taking care of each other. And I know you see that, and I know you want that, and I know it sucks that they don't have enough for you, okay? But our loneliness, our wounds, our issues around rejection are not theirs to heal, okay? And I need you to listen to me on this, because once again, Black people, especially Black women, have created something cool that they're excited about in this Hillman Talk thing. And I see white women who are either trying to like get included or getting their feelings hurt because they feel excluded. Like, nobody's saying you can't participate, but it wasn't created for you. And I know that white culture has taught you that if something isn't for you, it means that you've been deemed unworthy, but that's not what it is. Okay? I'm telling you this right now. It is not a personal reflection on your worth if you are not accepted and included. Okay? It is a statement of limited resources. All right? And we need to heal that trauma in ourselves. And we need to figure out how to connect with each other. Okay? Because there are so many of us, and we're so lonely that if we start depending on Black women to fill it, we're going to swallow them up and leave nothing behind. Okay? So let them be. Let them have their thing. Work on ourselves, work on our own communities, work on our own traumas and our own loneliness, and leave them alone. Okay?
So I'm going to try and see if I can find out exactly what she's talking about, that Black women started white women are losing their shit over because they were not included. because so many things happen on TikTok on a daily basis. So I cannot tell which one exactly she's referring to because it's always busy on that app. But I'm going to try and see if I can find exactly what it is about and incorporate it in this video. But if I can't, I guess the video.
Why was it suddenly necessary to create this thing called the white race? Well, because rich people can count. That's why. And so rich folks looked around, the ones that owned all the land, in the colonies, the colonial elite looked around and they realized something, that they were heavily outnumbered by African enslaved folks, by European indentured servants who were just one level above a slave, or other Europeans who weren't technically indentured servants, but they were still peasants, didn't have any money, didn't have any land, and they could do the math. They added it up and they were like, damn, we got to figure out a way to split these folks apart from one another or they're going to rise up and take our stuff, right? Because after a while, these black folks who were enslaved Africans and these quote unquote white folks who were poor Europeans are going to figure out they're all getting played by these rich people, right? So ultimately the rich figure out they got to come up with some way to get somebody in that group on their team. The easiest thing is to get the poor Europeans, right? Because at least they look like you. They sort of share some of the customs and the culture. So they all of a sudden create this thing called whiteness and they say, now you're part of the club. Now we're going to let you testify in court, enter into contracts, vote, at least if you're a man, own a little bit of land, at least if you're a man, right? And we're going to get rid of indentured servitude. No more of that because you're too good for that. And we're going to take the white men, now called white men, and put them on the slave patrol to keep black people in line. Give them a horse and a gun and a badge and make them feel big and powerful, right? They're still poor. They still don't have anything. They didn't pay the slave patrol well, right? Just exploited them, used them as a buffer between the elite and the other poor folks, particularly poor folks of color. And pretty soon the rebellions that occasionally happened where black and white got together to overthrow the elite, those stopped because the divide and conquer had begun to work, right? You could turn people against each other by telling those poor white folks, they got to keep these black people in line. And so that divide and conquer gets initiated in the colonies, rich white men telling not rich white people that their enemies are black and brown.
And this is still very much at play even in 2025. Hence why you would find that even though the average white person don't get the creme de la creme benefits out of white supremacy like what the 1%ers are getting, they are still fighting to maintain the system. And this too ties to the hierarchy that this creator was talking about earlier on in her video, the hierarchy that exists within white culture. So because this kind of system exists and they don't want to tear down, they are not interested in tearing it down. What they actually want is to get to the top of the system. What it creates is this kind of cutthroat society where everybody's trying to one up each other and not be at the bottom of it. So when you have a group of people with this kind of mindset, love cannot be fostered, community cannot be fostered because everybody is looking at everybody as competition. And for the most part, this would not have been our business, this entire madness, right? Would not have been our business if they don't find a way to use it to affect us. Because remember, this creator said at the beginning of our video that when a Black person is in their midst, paraphrasing here, they basically would now be the one to take all the SHIT, right? Because according to the hierarchy that they are operating on, or in rather, whatever, in the white community, Black people are at the bottom. And this is where it starts to concern us. Also, when I think about or put into consideration the things that this sister I referenced earlier said in her video, it now starts to become a problem because they don't be keeping that ish in their community. They be using it to affect every other group of people because of this delusion that they are operating on, that because they find a way to make us pawns in their fights to get to the top of white supremacy. And that is a problem. Hence why I'm making this video to basically share this thoughts pattern of theirs. So we would be more informed, because I feel like that could help us know how to avoid certain situations where we just might find ourselves in the presence of people who are trying to use us to one up the system or climb up the ladder or feel better about themselves, especially in this kind of sick, twisted context, if you guys get what I mean. What are your thoughts, guys? Let me know down below in the comment section. Let's continue this conversation there. Thank you very much for watching. And of course, as always, I'll be catching you in the next one. Bye.
Fast forward to the Civil War era. And you have, I'm from the South, right? My people, the elite in my part of the country, right, actually announced that the reason they wanted to break away from the Union and possibly go to war with their brothers and sisters to the North was in order to maintain slavery and white supremacy. They said that at the time. We lie about it now. And we say it had nothing to do with that. But of course, at the time, they didn't have any shame about it, so they just said it openly, right? The vice president of the Confederacy, Alexander Stephens, said that the cornerstone of the new government was the great truth that the Negro was not the equal of the white man. So that's the reason the Confederacy was formed and existed. But here's the trick. If I'm rich and I want to go to war to protect my ownership in other human beings, my property, but you're poor and you don't own any enslaved people, why the hell would you go fight to protect my stuff? Because I'm a rich person. I'm not going to fight. Rich people don't go to war, right? Rich people get poor people to go to war.
That is so true, people. Man, I tell you, past, present.
Whether it's in 1860 or whether it's during the 1960s or whether it's today, right? Rich folks get doctors to write notes for them that say that they have heel spurs and that's why they can't go to Vietnam. And if you don't know who I'm talking about, you can Google that shit because he's sitting in the White House right now, right? Oh, I can't go fight. I have heel spurs. Send some poor kids to do that for me, please, right? So that's been a long-standing tradition. So the rich have to figure out a way to convince the poor to go fight for them. But that's a hard thing. That's like a hard sell, right? Like, how the hell, why would you do that? Why would you go fight to protect my property rights when you don't own anything? The only way you would do it is if that rich person comes to you and says, hey, listen, you gotta go fight because we gotta maintain our way of life, because if these people get free, they're gonna take your jobs. No, fool, they already got your job. That's how it works, right? Because if I'm white and I got to charge you $1 a day to work on the farm, but you can get a black person to do it for nothing because you own them, guess who got the job? Free got the job, right? So in a sense, poor white folks would have been better off joining with black folks to overthrow the slave system. That would have raised the wage floor of all working people, but they got tricked by rich white men telling them that their enemies were black and brown. Fast forward to the 1930s. And you have white labor leaders. They're not even the elite, right? The labor leaders are not the elite, but they're the elite within the labor movement. And even they had fallen.
People. As we proceed.
At this point. So they didn't want to integrate their unions. And they would say things like, well, we can't have black people and Mexicans and Chinese folks in our unions because if we do that, it's going to reduce the professionalism of our craft. We have to maintain the integrity of our profession. No, fool, you need more people in the damn union is what you need. And if you don't let those folks in, guess what happens when you go out on strike? Who is the boss going to use to replace you? They're going to replace you with the very same black and brown folks that you didn't want to work next to, right? And so at the end of and then you're going to blame them for taking your job rather than the white rich dude for giving it to them, right? Divide and conquer. Telling not rich white folks that their enemies are black and brown. And now we fast forward to the president. We got the president of the United States becoming president on the basis of that same rhetoric. Telling not rich white folks that the reason they don't have a job is because Mexicans took them.
Welcome. That's the truth, people. Past, present, future. People, what me say? If we don't change it, it will never change. But we have to understand why it needs to be changed. Right, people? Thank you guys so much for stopping by. Thank you for the thumbs up. Thank you for the like and the share and the watch back later. People, I'm out.